So if you want to be a leader, you have to stand in front of the people and talk to the people and make sure the people are listening. Duh.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Queen Sugar Season 3, Episode 13. Micah, if you're going to talk to the people, honey, you got to make sure the people's listening to you. So I've been watching, and we keep seeing Micah, and they're telling Micah how he's this leader, and there's this fierce old leader in him. Now, I ain't seen all that. I see Micah as more of a follower than anything else. But hey, I could be wrong. I haven't been up to this point because we're sitting there, there's this rally. So they've organized this rally. Micah has organized a rally. And everybody's just kind of doing whatever. And he's showing literally no leadership qualities at all whatsoever. He was so stuck and so caught on the fact that his little friends didn't show up, the little group, the little troublesome group. They didn't show up at all. And when it was time to give out, the instructions on what they were going to do, where they were going to march, and how it was all going to go, they said, Michael, they're like, okay, go ahead and tell the people what you want, what you want them to know and everything. And Charlie ended up having to take over because nobody could hear him. He wasn't projecting. He's got his head down. He's reading off this piece of paper. It was just pitiful. It was pitiful. And I'm like, come on, Micah. Like, you know better than this, I know. Just he wasn't showing any type of, just no leadership at all. And the people weren't paying attention. So Charlie went ahead and took over. He just faded in the background. I'm like, what is that? Whatever. I was really, really irritated at that point. Next we see Nova speaking with her girlfriend, and she's saying to her about this book. Nova, are you sure about this? This is an awful lot of information about people around you. It still is not really about you. Like, are you sure about this? Do you have permission? Is everybody okay? Because just a little bit of stuff that you told me about how Vi felt, I don't know about this. It's like you might be really messing with something that's really going to be explosive and cause a lot of problems within your circle or within your family. Know you need to think about it. And she's just kind of sitting there saying, this is the things that people need to hear. And she's not listening. She's not hearing what her friend is saying at all. And I'm like, come on, Noah. Then we end up seeing Charlie and Romero, which I was loving every bit of this. I'm so here for this right here. It's time for Charlie to win in the love area. It's just time. Flat out, it's time for her to win. She's always at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to, love and relationships. And when it comes to Romero, she's winning. Romero got her there, fed her some food, talked to her with his fine self, had he in. Next thing I know, gave her some dinner, and he ended up slipping in a kiss. I said, come on, Romero. So I was here for it. So I'm loving this thing here with Romero. Okay, so then we go to the actual rally when the actual march takes place. And thank goodness, something happened and the planets aligned, and Micah found his voice. Micah he was in that same mode, just reading off the paper and looking down, and the people were looking at him like, what? And they're like, come on, Micah. And then something happened. Something sparked in him, and he went deep, and he told his story finally. Finally told his story of what actually happened to him, who the police officer's name was, and all of this, and it was actually being televised. So it was actually being recorded. Well, it wasn't being televised live, but it was recorded and it later on was televised, during the news and all of that. And they didn't win. It's still the jail is still being built, whatever. But this is the beginning of something good. Micah found his voice. He was talking. He was being honest. He was being transparent and open, and the people were listening and they were hanging on every word. He got him. He got him. Everything lined up. I said, "Well, thank God," because that was going really bad. I was like, "Child, you are hashtag losing," but everything lined up and it was really good. And I think he had, you know, he was still questioning himself a little bit, but Charlie was telling him later on, this was an accomplishment. Don't get caught up in the fact that you feel like you lost. This right here, you made ground. A lot of people were hearing you that need to hear you. This is going to change some things. So he's on it. Okay, now Vi is meeting with her business partner, and he's going through different locations with her. She's just sitting there. She's looking a little overwhelmed. You know how she does, and all of that, and that's going on. And then the next thing I know, you get to the end of it, and he's saying, "There's one more property that I want to talk to you about," and he starts to talk to her about it. And here it is. It's right where they're sitting at the High Yellow. The guy who owns the High Yellow has actually put it up for sale, and they're buying the building. And that's it. She's going to turn it right into her pie shop right there. It's like perfect. It's right where she's comfortable. It's right there. It just adds more to her story because the High Yellow is the first job she ever actually had. So it's like her life is starting to turn full circle right in her area. So that is just par for the course. It's just more building of a fierce old testimony that goes along with her business. So that is like wonderful. Uh, Here we go. Ralph Angel and Charlie. I'm not Charlie. I'm sorry. Ralph Angel and that goddamn Darla. They're sitting there talking. Well, why don't we just do 50-50 with Blue? Okay, cool. All right. And I'm looking at the two of these goofballs, the two of them. And they're both sitting there and they're both really happy to actually be together. And I'm like, after everything, you two are happy to be together? Are you kidding me? But whatever. Whatever. I mean, when you love people, you love them. It just is what it is. And then Darla goes, because she's so self serving with her crackhead self, she goes and leads the conversation. She starts asking about Trent. And I'm saying to myself, don't say nothing to her about Trent. Just leave it alone. But stupid Ralph Angel goes ahead and tells her, we ain't together no more. And I looked at Darla, and that bitch was so goddamn happy. She was so happy and so fulfilled. I was pissed. Pissed. And it looks like we're going to mess around, and it's going to be Darla and goddamn Ralph Angel going to be back on again, and I'm going to be pissed. I am so not here for it. I am really not here for it. But she was so happy with herself. Ugh, that just went all through me. Anyway, earlier on in the program, we actually saw Ralph Angel. He was there talking to some inmates, and his parole officer was telling him he wanted him to meet with a friend of his so he could continue doing that outreach. And that maybe the two of them could work on some stuff. And he said, I don't know. You know how he is. I don't know. I got so much on my plate, and he'll talk him into it. But anyway, he got a phone call, and everything's good. He's going to be off parole in 1 month. 1 month he'll be completely free, and everything will be good. So everything's kind of going the right way as it pertains to Ralph Angel. And as we're wrapping on up, because this is the season, this is the end of the season, child. We're wrapping on up here. Mrs. Boudreaux sits down with Charlie, and they get to talking, baby. And Charlie talks. She says, well, what do you want, Charlie? I want the books, the real books, so I can go ahead and expose your brother and take him down. And she told her, well, if you get your hands onto the real books, That's going to really expose some things. She says yes, and yeah. She told her, well, that's going to secure that you will be able to go ahead and take the boys club down, and everything will be, you'll be in charge of everything. And she says, well, yeah, but that's going to hurt us in the beginning part as well. So with that, I'm going to need some of your shares. And Charlie was like, is that right? She told her, I'll give you 1%. But for that, I want all the farmers moved back into their homes, and I want them to be able to own their deeds. And she said, what about my seat at the table? She said, well, Charlie, you'll always have a seat at my table. She says, okay. She says, well, she says, okay, and you want 1% of my shares. She says, and for that, she said, I want my meal back as well. Queen Sugar is mine. Queen Sugar belongs to the Bordelon family, and I want it back. And she says, well, for that, my dear, I'm going to need more of your shares. And she says, well, she says, then you'll have to give me a hell of a lot more than just my meal. I said, okay. So we kind of left and went to a commercial, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on? So that was that. We come back from commercial, and we end up seeing Prosper and Charlie and Micah, and they're getting ready to, Prosper's getting ready to go. He's getting ready to go on back. He's going to leave to go to Chicago with his daughter and all of that. He's telling Micah how proud of him that he is, and he's thanking Charlie about, taking care of him and letting him stay there and all of that. And she reminded him again, we are family. You are family. And when you have family, you take care of family. We take care of family, Prosper. And that's that. And he ended up giving Micah his copy of The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Not be televised, not be televised. If you all don't know about The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, child, look up Patti LaBelle and LaBelle and go to The Revolution Will Not Be Televised and listen to it. It's deep, real deep. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But that's not the version that Mr. Prosper was actually given Micah. But it's a earlier version, a male version. But I prefer the Patti LaBelle and LaBelle version of The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Anyway, moving on. So the very last thing, Charlie's going outside. She tells Mr. Prosper, we need to talk. He's like, well, where are we going, Charlie? What are we doing? And she's standing there, and she hands him the deed to his house. I told you I'd take care of it, honey. I said, come on, Charlie. I can't wait. And it ended. It ended out there, and I was happy because I can't wait to see what all it is that Charlie done bumped Miss Boudreaux over her goddamn head and got out of her. So I'm excited. Because I didn't know what I was feeling for the end of this, and I was like, But now I'm actually excited about the cliffhanger and the waiting until next season to see what all was in that deal that Charlie made with Mrs. Boudreaux. I am so here for it. So, Ava DuVernay, girl, you had me. I was like, girl, am I going to have to side eye you like Tyler Perry? But no, you delivered as usual. I love Queen Sugar. It is what it is. I have enjoyed it. 13 episodes, and I will see you guys next season. Get ready, because next week we are back on to Greenleaf, baby, and I can't wait. Cannot wait. All right, you guys. Later.